stick with Verizon, and maybe 10% of the money you spend will go to more TV commercials and billboards and magazine ads, or you can switch to TPO and 10% will go to whatever charity you want to support. So that's another chunk of my time. What else? Jimmy Will's Foundation I talked about. I'm sure I'm forgetting something important.
Okay, sounds like it's enough.
It's enough, yeah.
Where are you living now?
Oh, I live in London. I've lived in London now for about 5 years. I really love it. It's a great place to live. It's 8 time zones to California, 8 time zones to Hong Kong. So it's easy to have a phone conference with people during the workday. Almost everybody except Hawaii. Not many people living in the Pacific Ocean, but I can't talk to them very often. So for global work, it's great. It's all the cliches about London. It's a very cosmopolitan city, very diverse. Great city. There's only one thing that I actually regret about living in London.
Food?
No, the food's actually pretty good. No, I'd say because instead of eating British food, they've got actually imported great food from everywhere else, so it's not so bad.
Indian food.
Fantastic Indian food. No, the main thing I regret is that because I already live in London, I can't threaten to leave the country if Donald Trump is elected president.
Okay. Last personal question. What's a day in the life of Jimmy Wicks? Do you just get up and start editing Wikipedia? What do you do?
Yeah, well, I am on Wikipedia almost every day, not every single day. No, I have a lot of different kinds of days, I would say. So I've got my days in London, where I get up. Wikia. I forgot about Wikia. That's the kind of important.
Okay, well,
Wikia is now about this. I haven't looked at the latest numbers, like the 16th most popular website, and it's just killing it these days. We just launched a new product called Fandom, which is it's a stretch from. So Wikia, if you don't know Wikia, you probably do know Wikia. So it's if you love like Game of Thrones or Grand Theft Auto or whatever. So the Game of Thrones wiki is this huge compendium of information, every episode, every actor, every character, etc., etc. But now we're moving into more real-time reporting. So this is Fandom. It's more of a where you can, and we've got like 700 people who've volunteered to come and write about the things they care about. So instead of building just the encyclopedia, we're becoming a news source. So that's doing really, really well. We've just launched it recently. It's getting like I think 3 million uniques a month and that sort of thing. So it's really growing fast. So that's fantastic. So I think there's some people here from Wikia who are about to murder me when I get off stage for forgetting to mention it. The company's doing amazingly well, though. Actually, what I was saying to somebody the other day is I tend to focus my work on wherever there's a problem. And so Wikia's been doing so fantastically well, I haven't had to pay much attention to them. So if they want attention, they can screw something up, but hopefully they don't do that.
Careful what you're asking for.
Yeah, no, please. Wikia, just keep being
So how do you...
But you asked me something when I suddenly forgot.
Day in the life.
Oh, day in the life. So I have to travel for board meetings and things like that. But in London, I have my own personal office. It's just me in my little office. So I'm not very social. I just go into my office and get online and work and cook my own lunch and stuff. Very quiet days. And then I have to travel a lot. So I travel sometimes to do an event like this, or like in December, I went to China. The Wikimedia Foundation asked me to go to China to meet with the minister who's in charge of censoring the internet, because we're currently blocked in China. So kind of a diplomatic mission to go and see if I can change their minds about anything. That's going to take a while. It's very slow work.
Tell us about that. So you land in China and they make sure you don't have fever or anything. Are you through customs, and then what?
Well, they were having this big internet conference, and they specifically invited me to come to talk about the situation. And so our history in China, we've been blocked at times and not blocked at times, and we've always been very principled. We will not censor Wikipedia to please the Chinese government. So that's a problem, but it's a problem for them. It's not a problem for us. It's just who we are and what we do. And so for a long time, there was a period of time where because they had gotten more sophisticated. So in the early days, they just blocked all of Wikipedia. Then as they got more sophisticated, they wanted to have the advantages of having Wikipedia, but there's certain pages, and they filtered certain pages. Well, back in the summer, we'd been on this program, partly because of the Snowden revelations. We'd always had it in the back of our minds, oh yeah, we should do this, but we went to HTTPS, so SSL, so we're encrypted everywhere. And that had always been a long-term goal, but it wasn't a super, urgent thing until the Snowden slide came out that said, essentially one of the slides from a presentation said, oh, here's a list of websites that are super easy to spy on, and Wikipedia's on there, and that pissed us off very much. So we went to SSL everywhere, which means that now the Chinese government doesn't have as a policy option to filter certain pages. They can't tell which page you're looking at. They can only tell that you're looking at Wikipedia. And so therefore, they have a choice of all or none, which actually is true everywhere now. So what's really interesting is that a lot of countries that have traditionally filtered Wikipedia are now no longer filtering Wikipedia because they would rather let those pages through than block all of Wikipedia. So in many places, the switch to SSL has meant more access to Wikipedia, but in China they've made the choice to say, fine, then no Wikipedia.
At all.
At all. So Wikipedia is blocked in China. Well, we've been there before. We waited them out. On one of my previous trips, one of their proposals back in the day, this isn't on the table at the moment, but was that they would host Wikipedia and they would pay for all the costs. They would get a university to manage the content to make sure that it complied with Chinese law, which of course, fuck that, that's never gonna happen. So, but they said, I said to, so they actually had a dinner with the minister and he rang up the dean of the university to come and meet me like at 10:30 at night. So the guy gets dragged out of bed to come and meet me at the hotel.
Well, that should tell you something about who controls who right there.
Yeah, no, exactly. Academic freedom, yeah. So, and I said to this guy, I said, I just like to play with people because, the Chinese, they do think very long term. And I said, yeah, well, I'm ready to wait 1,000 years. Because I said, I think China's changing. I think China will give up, and I still believe this. China will give up on this policy because it's not right for China. It causes disharmony, not harmony, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm optimistic. Of course, as we've revealed earlier, I'm pathologically optimistic, so people who aren't so optimistic should rein me in a bit. But I think that eventually China will say, actually, this is stupid. And one of the things that's important about this, and important about Wikipedia in particular, is that a lot of Chinese people think, oh, well, they only filter certain, terrorist information,
Tiananmen Square,
Syria. But if they're blocking all of Wikipedia, it becomes pretty obvious to the general public that this is a fairly aggressive censorship program. And I'd rather Chinese people understand what's happening to them rather than have it being passed over as kind of a minor thing. So currently, we'll see what happens, but currently we're blocked in China, and we won't compromise, and they don't seem likely to compromise anytime soon. But this is really important. I think it's important to our movement. It's important. The whole point of Wikipedia is a free encyclopedia for everyone in their own language. And that's, if we give up on that to get access to market share, then we've given up principle, and then we've given up the whole thing, and we might as well be, whatever. So.
Okay.